Minor adjustments are dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. The words in that mission statement, it says to obtain, and the other one is maintain. Listen to me. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. Maintain means to keep it in existence. Listen. The reason why I say that, everybody say to obtain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Say to obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it.
How you gonna already get souped up off of something like that? To obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Welcome everybody to the Minor Adjustment virtual lesson. My name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. And as always, y'all know our motto is anywhere. Let me put it on the screen. Anywhere but backward. No matter where you go in your recovery walk or whatever walk you're taking, focus on not going backward will conquer a lot of things in your life. I learned that firsthand in my life. But backwards. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Minor Adjustment virtual lesson. Today, we're going to be diving into living victorious. But before we get there, I love the mission statement. When the mission statement, it says minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. To attain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Let me look at that. Let me go to page 5. And I want to pull it up on the screen so you can see what I'm saying. To obtain something, page 6, to obtain something means to come into the possession of it. To maintain something means to keep it in existence. Why is that important, Michael? I'm good. That's a good question, and I'm glad you asked. When you come into the possession of your sobriety, for me, after 22 years of struggling with crack cocaine and heroin and criminal lifestyle, I have 15 years removed for that. Thanks be to God. I have 15 years removed from that. However, in August 2009, when I obtained my sobriety, I did not have to go get my sobriety in August 2010, which would have been a year from when I obtained my sobriety. From the time that I obtained the sobriety, I simply had to get the relapse prevention skills, the spiritual development. I had to get mentors, spiritual advisors, recovery coaches, whomever that you had to put around your social support network or recovery support network, your network period. You have to get those individuals around you to help you learn how to maintain the sobriety. There are, I want to use a percentage here. There are a high percentages of individuals, 75 to 80% of individuals who are overlooking the process of maintaining something and keep going backwards and have to constantly try to obtain their sobriety over and over again. However, the minor adjustments model is anywhere but backwards. If you focus on not going backward, in order for you to focus on not going backward, you'll have to equip yourself with the necessary tools needed for you that will assist you in the process of maintaining your sobriety. Remember, I'm gonna go back. Pay attention to the mission statement. It's very important. Minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make these words, the minor adjustments that are necessary. Because there are individuals who will try to make adjustments in their life based on the adjustment that they seen another man or another woman make. when really that's not a good strategy. It's okay to imitate me as I imitate Christ. That's okay. But each individual has something personal that the necessary adjustments that have to be made in your life. But that comes from spending time with somebody that you be with more than anybody, and that's yourself. So today we're going to move on to our topic. It's going to be living victorious. So let me get the this particular workbook. Let me go back. Where all these lessons that we have been doing thus far have come out of the Minor Adjustments workbook. This is the Minor Adjustment Students workbook. I have a Minor Adjustments Facilitators Guide, and I have a Minor Adjustment book with secondary lessons in it. There's 3 different books associated with the Minor Adjustments program. But today, we're going to be doing a lesson from out of the Minor Adjustments book, and we're going to get to this particular page. And once we get there, we're just going to dive into everything that we want to pour into for this particular group. I hope everybody is hearing me well. I hope that everything is cool on you on your end. And let's see where we at. All right. That's not okay. Let me get there. I'm way off. All right. There we go. Let's start here. So today, or each time we do the group, we always have what's called an expectation for the particular group. Today, the expectation is everyone's heart of a champion will be revived. Everyone's heart of a champion will be revived. I'll go more in detail into that in just a moment. So it says, living victorious does not mean freedom from temptation, nor does it mean freedom from mistakes or losing. But you must never be satisfied with losing or even be happy with your mistakes. You must get terribly angry about losing and your mistakes. But the mark of a good loser is that they take their anger out on themselves, meaning they assume responsibility for their actions. When I say they take their anger out on themselves, I am not saying do something to yourself physically. That's why I literally put in parentheses, they assume responsibility for their actions and not their victorious opponent. Victory is always possible for someone who refuses to stop fighting to obtain and maintain living victorious. So victory is always possible. We're talking about living victorious. Victory is always possible for the individuals who do not settle or who takes the responsibility for their actions and who continue to press on. One of the chapters we taught about in previous weeks is called You Must Have Endurance. So victory is always possible for an individual who refuse to stop fighting to obtain and maintain living victorious. Now, listen, this is very important because I talked to some of the individuals. I briefly mentioned that I have 15 years. In August will be 15 years removed from the strongholds, the struggles I had with crack cocaine and heroin and all that other lifestyles that I used to live, right? And I talked to some individuals who are currently still in some of the bondages and situations that I used to be in. And when I'm talking to them, they always ask me certain questions or similar questions to, how did you continue to go and get to the place where you became a certified alcohol and drug counselor, national certified peer recovery support specialist, and all these things that has happened in my life? For one, I first give God all the glory for what he has done in my life. That goes without saying. That's just a whole nother bracket. We don't even have to put God in the list of other things because it goes without question, right? So first, I tell them about the grace of God that has been placed upon my life. And also, I tell them that I kept on fighting. And what that means is I went to multiple rehabilitation centers, 16 or something. I lost count. I got to be honest with you. but I didn't ace the test the first time I took it. But I refused to stop fighting. So in order for you to live victorious, you're going to have to first thank God that you get the opportunity to try over again if you continue to relapse or continue to go backwards, for we're talking about minor adjustments. But I refuse to stop fighting. I just kept what I say. I just kept taking the test. I didn't ace the test the first time I took it in regards to rehabilitation and recovery. I just kept taking the test until I passed it. So I'm telling you all that in order for you to live victorious, you're going to have to refuse to stop fighting to obtain and maintain living victorious. I hope you understand some of the things that are coming out of my mouth. You have the ability to live a victorious life. Now, I got to caution and pause and pull over, pause and park for a moment, because living victorious can mean different things for different individuals. But I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But my expectation initially when I said that everyone's heart of a champion will be revived. Everyone's heart of a champion will be revived. I use that because I want to bring to your remembrance I can't remember the year. I want to say the year. I know for a fact that it was the year that Michael Jordan took a brief retirement. And during that year, the Houston Rockets was the defending champions. They were in the playoffs and they were playing a team. I can't call who they were playing, but they was losing by a great deal. And if they lose this particular game, the defending champions would have been knocked out of the playoffs and they would not have repeated as a two-time NBA champion. However, one time they was getting blown out. So as they were getting blown out, their coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, he called the timeout. So when the team was coming off the court, he was walking like towards the court to think what he was going to say to his team. And the coach happened to look down at the opponent. And the opponent, because they were winning by so much, that they started celebrating as if they had already won the game. There was a lot of time left on the clock. So the coach looked down there and he saw his opponent celebrating, watch this, because they thought that they won. They already believed that they were going to win. So the coach automatically knew what he was going to tell his team. So he went over in the huddle and he looked at all his players. Now, mind you, they are the defending world champions. And Rudy Tomjanovich went to his team. He looked at all the players. He looked down there at the opponent that was celebrating because they thought they was going to win. And he looked at his team and he told his team these words. He says, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And the only reason I'm telling you that is because the things that you have been faced with in your life, the addictions you have been faced with all your life, the monster that has tried to destroy you all your life, it believes that it's going to beat you. But I came here to tell you and to revive you and tell you that never underestimate the heart of a champion. You have the heart of a champion to live victorious, even though your opponent believes that you are going to lose because you keep falling for the same addiction and same criminal lifestyle. I came to revive the heart of a champion that's in you. And in order for you to live victorious, I want you to understand these words. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Even though it appears that you're losing, I'm telling you today, as sure as my name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr., if you refuse to stop fighting to obtain and maintaining living a victorious life, nothing can stop the heart of a champion. So my expectation is everyone's heart of a champion will be revived today. Today, I want to revive the champion that you have, the champion that you have inside of you. You may not have a great day today. Things may not went your way. Financially, you might be in a bad situation. You might destroy the marriage. Your relationship with your children might be restored. All of that is considered the opponent. And the opponent is celebrating because the opponent thinks that the opponent is going to make you lose, but not today. Today, you came to this class and you are living victorious. And I want you to understand, never underestimate the heart of a champion. I hope you understand all these words that's coming out my mouth. I just came here to encourage you today. Oh, man. Oh, man, I hope y'all got something out of that. That was good. Let's see. The word living means the power of continuing life, the act of life or living comfortable. I'm talking about living. When you're living comfortable, you're living inside of what you believe your comfort zone. Not this is the new you. You're living victorious, but you're living comfortable. The job I have today as a substance abuse counselor, when I go to work, although I get a check every 2 weeks, they pay us for whatever we get to do. But it's a comfortable job because I get to help individuals who are struggling with an addiction. So that's a beautiful thing. But it's a comfortable thing because I get the fulfillment of my purpose by helping other men and women who are in a current situation that they believe that they can never get out of. So when I'm talking to an individual, I'm able to share and give them some particular hope and let them know for 22 years, I was in your same situation. But for the last 15 years, I have not been anywhere near that situation. So when you give an individual hope, it makes you live comfortable because you are now living what I call a purpose. So you got to understand that. Let's go here. Let's see what else we got. Where should you start to obtain a victorious life? Where should you start to obtain a victorious life? Me, I started to attain my victorious life. If you see it, these bullets is in my book. It's not in the student's workbook, but it says, I build a spiritual foundation and a strong support network. Didn't I mention that? You build my spiritual foundation is where I started to obtain my victorious life. And I have a strong support network on top of my spiritual foundation. My spiritual foundation comes first. Everything that I do in my life to live victorious, I do it based upon the spiritual foundation that I have. And I have a strong support network. What is a strong support network? Listen to me. This is very, very important. You can have a strong support network and an individual might not necessarily believe in the God you serve, right? Because I have business mentors, I have educational mentors, I have mentors and individuals in different aspects of my life. They are a part of my strong support network. And in order for you to live victorious, I'm talking about living and maintaining your sobriety, you will have to have a strong support network. This is another key. I'm giving you some very vital stuff here in regards to your recovery walk. One, your strong support network could be a family member, or it could be somebody outside your family member. You can actually group in a family support network and have a strong support network, and they don't be related, because sometimes you think that some of my clients actually don't have a good rapport with their family, so they don't have no family support network, no recovery support network. They have a recovery support network, but they have absolutely no family support network. So when you're building your foundation, I want you to understand, you can get people from different walks of life if they're willing to pour into your life, and you can use them. Like I mentioned, I have a business mentor. He don't go to church with me. He don't go to recovery meetings with me. He don't do none of that. But in regard to certain business things, he give me advice and help me. He's a part of my strong support network. I have individuals who have had histories with addictions, right, in my support network. I have individuals who never done any drugs in their life in my support network. Wait a minute, you got people who never done drugs in your support network? Yes, because you're dealing with a holistic approach. You're dealing with the overall person. Sometimes we get so stuck on moving the substance and trying to live victorious, but we never address the holistic approach when you're dealing with every area of your life. I hope you understand some of these things that I'm telling you. I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to make you demand you to live this particular life. I'm telling you that these are all the things that I have attached to my life, and I have been successful thus far, for thanks be to God, for the last 15 years. And the primary purpose is because of my spiritual foundation and my strong support network. All right, let's look at let's skip the second one. Let's go down to the third one. How do you maintain a victorious life? These words right here, I'm gonna give you 5 good words. These are all part of my life. Discipline, excuse me, structure, integrity, character, and boundaries. Oh man, if you want to maintain a victorious life, you're going to have to live a disciplined life. Why do you need to be disciplined? Because if you're not disciplined, you will drift to and fro. You will go to different places because you're not disciplined enough to know that that's what's called a high risk situation. I teach some of my participants and clients about high risk situation. Do you know what a high risk situation is? The situation where you're going over there and you're getting in that situation. If you had a little bit discipline, then you will, if you develop your discipline and be disciplined. This is why I tell individuals who are in particular rehabilitation centers or programs or sober living house or discipleship houses or whatever home you are in or wherever you are, right? Even if you're not in one of those places, I'm primarily talking about individuals who are in programs. You need to start your discipline, train yourself to develop your discipline in the program. You cannot train yourself to live a disciplined lifestyle after you leave the program. You can do it, but it's going to be very difficult. If you start in the facility to start training yourself to live a disciplined lifestyle, right? You will be better when you leave the facility. This is another word that we want to have to, you're going to have to help you maintain victorious living. It's structure. You go. Listen to me. I keep bringing up the 22 years I struggled with crack cocaine and heroin. When I go into a facility or when I went into a facility, I had a problem with structure. Structure literally, majority of the time, let me use me because I've never been you. Majority of the time when I didn't like the structure is because I thought the structure was taking away my freedom. So I rejected structure. And then I realized when I went home and I relapsed and I came back to the facility, I realized if I don't get disciplined or if I don't listen to the structure that's in front of me, I'm going to be in trouble. And not only that, I'm going to keep coming back to this facility. But you know, my motto is anywhere but backwards. I'm not going back to the facility. I made up my mind. The only way I'm going back to the facilities is to come teach the individuals who are in the facility how to stay out of the facilities so they can come back and be mentors or alumni or alumni, or you can, that's when you come back. You come back to show the individuals in the facilities that it's possible. But I want to get back to this word structure. The structure that you reject is actually the reason why you reject the structure is because you feel like you're going to lose something. But structure, even in the, I live a disciplined life, excuse me. I live a very disciplined life, and I am a very faith-based individual. And there's a lot of things, and when I'm reading the Bible, there's a lot of things that I read that before I got to where I am now spiritually, I always thought that I was losing something. And then I realized the structure or the discipline of the Bible is actually to protect me. So this is why I got, how do you maintain your victorious life? You need discipline. You need structure. You need integrity and you need character. You need to know that when somebody said something or do something or mention you, if I'm not in the room and they mention you, I should be able to say, I think I wouldn't agree about what you said about this particular person. And they say, well, why you don't believe that? It's because I know that person, and that person's integrity and that person's character doesn't match what you're saying. So unless I see something different from that person, or that person's doing something different when I'm not around them, then I'm going to base my relationship with you on your integrity and character that I deal with you on a regular basis. Now, integrity and character can be developed. You can develop your integrity and you can develop your character. Remember, we coming out of lifestyle. If you coming out of lifestyle of substance use disorders, right? We had absolutely no integrity and character associated with us. We had all types of lying, scheming, and conniving, and that's all we did, right? We might have been a person that had integrity and character, but watch this. All of our integrity and character will break down if we ever would find ourselves when we were sick and we needed to get what we needed to get off of E. Whenever we needed to get off of E, I ain't the only one. We will break every integrity and every character that our parents taught us just because we needed to get that substance. But that's not the real you. The substance was controlling you. So the integrity and character has to be developed. You're going to have to basically start from scratch. You're going to have to, that's a good word, you're going to have to revive the integrity and character that you probably learned from your parents, because some parents taught us things that we never forgot when we were children. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm sorry, I missed one. How do you maintain your victorious life? Discipline, structure, integrity, character, and the last one is boundaries. When we're actively using, we cross all our own boundaries. The boundaries we set for ourselves that we said we never would do, right? When we're actively using, we'll cross all of those boundaries. So now that we are on a different side, we're going to have to learn how to set boundaries. When we set the boundaries, because we can't cross these boundaries, because if we're trying to live this victorious, living victorious, remember the topic is living victorious. When we're trying to live victorious, we have to set these boundaries and we have to make sure that we do not cross those particular boundaries. We have boundaries set by ourselves, and we have to set boundaries. We have to set boundaries for others. When an individual come into my office, I don't talk a certain way. I don't listen to certain things. When they come into my office, that's my boundary, right? So when they in my office, they have to abide by the boundaries that's set in my office. Or when I'm in the street and I'm doing something, if individuals come to my home, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't have anything about, none of that. None of that's in my home, right? If you need to light something, you might be in trouble, right? So none of that is really in my home. And if individuals will come into my house, I do not smoke, I do not drink, right? They would have to do all that stuff before they come. I'm not saying that those individuals don't come to my house. I'm just saying that those individuals don't do that in my house. This is my domain. This is my boundaries. You have to set boundaries. And you need to let the individuals know. At this point, I don't have to let individuals know because of my character and integrity lets them know what I will allow and what I won't allow in my house or in my car. Some individuals can I get a ride for this, that, and third? I can't give you a ride. It's not that I don't have room in my car. It's that I don't know what you just did, so I can't let you in my car to get me caught up in something, so I set boundaries. So remember, these 5 things are very important. Please, if you have the book, write it down. Discipline, structure, integrity, character, and boundaries. These is how you maintain victorious living. Is it possible to learn from your mistakes and losses? Woo! Man, I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna pause so you can think about it. Is it possible to learn from your mistakes and your losses? I'm back. Listen to me. Your mistakes must become, not should be, must become your mentors. Oh man, when I learned this from my mentor, oh man, I was so mad when he taught me this, and it took me about 5 months to get it. Your mistakes must become your mentors. He asked me the question. He would tell me to do an assignment, I would fail. He would tell me to do this, I would do it. I wouldn't do it. He would tell me to do this, I would go to leave rehabilitation center. I would come back and I would relapse and I would come back. And he will ask me this question. He says, Michael, how do you know when a person has learned from their mistakes? I said, man, I don't know, man. I really don't know, sir. He says, you'll know when a person's mistakes have become their mentors, and you will learn from their mistakes. Watch these words, when they don't repeat it. Oh, man. In order for you to live victorious, you have to allow your mistakes to become your mentors. The way that you know that you have grown and your mistakes have now become your mentors is because you will no longer repeat them. Because the mistakes that you made, you suffered the consequence. Nobody in their right mind wants to suffer a bad consequence over and over again. But when your mistakes become your mentors, you're able to live victorious. And you can always tell who mistakes have become their mentors. They won't repeat them. They won't go back. So my drug addiction, I learned from my mistakes and all my losses that I had from my drug addiction because I never repeated it. Whenever you get to this point, woo! We talk about living victorious. You want to live victorious? The Mind Adjustment Program teaches people how to live victorious. If you want to live victorious, allow your mistakes to become your mentors. Put your mistakes, this is good, put your mistakes in the group of your strong support network. That's good, man. I'm going to give you that one for free. Put your mistakes in the group with your strong support network. Why? Because your mistakes are your mentors now. You're no longer going to make those same mistakes. When your mistakes become your mentors, you live victorious. You won't repeat them. This is good. Listen to me. This process works not only with addiction, it works with your spiritual development. It works in relationships. Some of the mistakes you made with certain women, certain men, or whomever, however, relationship, it not only a relationship where you're in a relationship with someone, I'm talking about your relationships with employers, right? When I used to work at a certain job, I used to steal the tools, right? I used to steal stuff from the job, right? And then I would get fired, right? So when I go to a job now, I know, you can't steal and try to work at the same job. You're going to get fired. Right? So your mistakes have to become your mentors. You can use this in any area of your life. You have to adjust it. Remember, we're talking about minor adjustments, and we're talking about the subject matter is living victorious. Oh man, I'm only on the second page. Oh man, this is serious. Let's see where we at. All right, it's good stuff here. All right, are you comfortable living this way? Oh man, I'm gonna put my sister on blast here. Are you comfortable living this way? One day I was in prison and I called my sister and I was talking to her after the repeated times of going to prison. And I'm talking to her on the phone. And one day she said this and it hit me like a gut shot. I'm talking to her, collect call from Michael, accept the call. So I'm talking to her, what's going on? How you doing, sis? You all right? Hi, everybody. How the family? And my sister asked me this. Do you like being on drugs and going to jail? Said, wow. Do I like it? I said, why you say that? She says, because you keep going back to it. And she says, are you comfortable living this way? And I actually had to sit there after I got off that phone and said, wait a minute. Am I? Because I will go to prison for a few years, come home, get on drugs, commit crime, go back to prison. come home, commit crime, get on drugs, go back to prison, go to rehabilitation center after rehabilitation center. And I had to pause on that question. Am I comfortable living this way? Now, that question might not only be for me. You have to ask yourself, my life, I'm speaking for me, from 16 years old to the age of 38, which equals 22 years, I did the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. I had literally become comfortable living that way. But in order for you to get to the place where you're honest with yourself, you have to ask yourself, I don't know how long you've been doing it. Some people have been doing it longer than me. Mine was 22 years. You might got 32 years. You might got 10 years, 5 years. I don't know how long you've been doing that same particular way, living that same particular way. But I do know this. You need to get by yourself and ask yourself, am I comfortable living this way? That's a tough question to ask yourself. I had to ask myself that, and I was in prison. And at that time, I wasn't even sure. I wasn't even sure because I constantly kept doing the same thing. And I believe that the lifestyle I was living had become my normal. So if I wasn't doing those things, I didn't feel like I was worth anything because I thought what I used to do was all that I could do. But that's not true. I went from being on drugs to being a drug counselor. So therefore, I got out of that situation and I'm now living victorious. I'm not only telling you this because I'm trying to brag. I'm telling you this because it's possible for you as well. So no matter who's taking this particular course, no matter who's online now or who will watch this video later, if you find yourself in this situation where you have been comfortable living like that, this is the day that you make the minor adjustments and move to living a victorious life. Let's move on. All right. You have something special in you that gives you the advantage. You have what's called seeds of greatness in you, but you still must become significant. You can overcome any obstacles and achieve your purpose in life. There is nothing you can't do. Woo! There is nothing you can't. I'm talking to you. There is nothing you can't do. You can't do when you realize the importance that has been put inside of you. No dream is too big. No challenge is too great. You must be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Set that renewed mind in motion and determine in your heart that no matter what happens, you're willing to go anywhere but backwards. Tell yourself, I'm living victorious. Tell yourself, I'm living victorious. There is nothing you can't do. Nothing is exciting as winning. The taste of victory in our lives is sweet. Listen to me. Nothing is exciting as winning. The taste of victory in our lives is sweet. That is all we have today. I hope you got something out of this lesson. Matter of fact, let me give you this thought right here for today, and I'm going to close on this. The thought for today is, there is no one magic move or secret that creates victory, but a lot of little items that when added together can make you victorious. Let me read that thought for today one more time. There is no one magic move or one magic secret that creates victory, but it's a lot of little items that when you add them together can make you victorious. Again, today we was talking about living victorious. Again, my name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. and our motto is anywhere but backwards. Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Take this lesson today and live victorious for the rest of your life. Thank you, and God bless you.